Hello and welcome back to Green Valley Zoo. This is episode 5 and we're doing another animal. In this episode we are putting in the Galapagos tortoises. I had the idea for this because after I'd built the picnic area with this path and I'd ended up putting the rocks down as the edging to the path, I thought that would be a perfect edging for the tortoises, so you could be walking along the path and see the tortoises and they wouldn't be able to walk over the rocks because in real life they couldn't. However, as I discovered after putting them in here, they could. So I came up with a solution because luckily I have found another rock where they can't for some reason walk over. So these large rocks here, one side of them, the side that you can see facing the camera, they can't walk over them for some reason. They can walk over the other side, but they can't walk over this side. So you can use them as an edging to tortoise enclosures with them sunk relatively low into the ground. So that's what I went with. Blended them in colour-wise with the other rocks, put them in, and then just used some other rocks on top of them and around them just to make them blend in a little bit more. Had to raise a few here and there, but eventually they make a very nice barrier. I did try putting more of these little rocks down, but that didn't work because suddenly it meant that the tortoises could escape, so that was no good. So I had to get rid of them. In fact, one of the main reasons why I'm putting tortoises in next as my second animal is because I actually own a tortoise. I sort of have two. Complicated story. I inherited a tortoise a few years ago from a neighbour. He's about, what is he, 12 inches from head to toe, so he's quite a large tortoise. He's called Jasper and he is approximately 70 years old, so he's quite an old man, and he is one of the most charismatic pets I've ever had. I absolutely love him to bits. I think a lot of people probably look at tortoises and think that they're very boring and they don't do a lot, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It really couldn't. They are very entertaining. They're very active when the weather's right for them, and they are very friendly. They really are. They really get to know you. You know, Jasper, as soon as he sees me walking down the garden, he'll come running over in his pen and see me. Obviously he's hoping I've got food for him, which I usually do, but yeah, he's a lovely thing. And it just so happens that my girlfriend also has a tortoise, a much smaller one, a Herman's tortoise I believe her is. We don't actually know what Jasper is. Like I say, we inherited him when a neighbour passed away, so we don't know what he is. We can't identify him because he has no... He's so old, he's lost his markings, so we really don't know what sort of tortoise he is. But my girlfriend's is a Herman's called Tilly, much smaller, only about maybe 6 inches from head to toe, or head to tail, I should say. Yeah, she's again just a lovely little thing, very friendly. Roams around my girlfriend's garden. We have Jasper in our garden in a pen, a very large pen. You know, he's got tons of room to run around. I'm very lucky I have a very large garden at home. And so you know, when I started playing this game, one of the first pets that I wanted to put in was a tortoise, because I'm fascinated by them. I find them absolutely brilliant things to watch. I go outside sometimes in the summertime and I'll just sit in Jasper's enclosure, just reading a book or just chilling out in the sun and let him just wander around me. And it's quite amusing because we have cats at home as well, and they, when we first got Jasper, the cats were fascinated by him. They'd never seen a tortoise before, so as far as they were concerned, he was a rock with legs. And they were fascinated, whereas now they couldn't care less. You know, they'll sit in his enclosure, they'll look at him, they'll wander around him. He doesn't care about them, they don't care about him. So yeah, they get on very well, which is nice. So what am I doing with the enclosure? You can see I've sorted the barrier out. These are very large tortoises, these Galapagos, some of the biggest ones in the world, so they would need a good sized enclosure. What I wanted to do with this enclosure, similar to what I did with the aardvarks, I wanted the bed area to be viewable from the public point of view, but I didn't need to do it in quite the same way here. With the aardvarks, I wanted the public viewing area to be inside, as I explained that, so that the aardvarks weren't getting daylight in their bed area. However, tortoises are a little bit different. They wouldn't really care about that. What they care about more is the temperature. Tortoises will more than happily sleep outside as long as they're warm enough. So with their enclosure, I have a viewing area that I put in a minute, but it's viewable from the outside path. However, what I did want to do inside was some heat lamps, which we'll see me create in a minute, because I know from experience that tortoises can never be too hot. They absolutely love heat lamps. We have a heat lamp for both my tortoise and my girlfriends, and they love it. Whether it's warm or not, they are more than happy being underneath a heat lamp. And so these Galapagos tortoises, when they go inside their bed area, they would have the option of being under a heat lamp or not. Obviously, with any animal, you always have to give them choices. You can't force them into anything. So that's why I wanted this area to be quite large. Obviously, the keepers would need to be able to get in there as well. But these tortoises, they need space. They are big, and as much as they will huddle together in real life, they will all cozy up in a corner together. You've got to give them space to be separate as well. Just like humans, sometimes we need time and space alone. So that's why this bed area is as large as it is. And again, I incorporated the keeper hut inside because I didn't want. I don't like the look of these. All the staff facilities in this game. They don't look good. They're a pain to have to keep coming up with creative ideas to enclose them inside a building. So in the end, I find this is the best thing to do. You just hide them inside another building. I put a little sheltered area. Again, it just gives the tortoises options. They can be indoors in the shelter or a little bit of shelter on the outside as well. And the reason I put a flat roof here is because the view from the entrance across the pond, I didn't want the view to be blocked by a tall roof on this building. So the flat roof was my only option, and actually I think it worked out very nicely. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. Here I was trying to find something that I could use as a heat lamp. Unfortunately, the lighting in the game, I'm not that impressed with it, I'll be honest. There aren't many different types of light that you can adapt for different things. None of them looked right. Certainly none of them were designed to go upside down. So I had to try and make my own. So I needed some sort of, obviously the right light. I needed, what's the word? Yeah, this bit, which is the, like a pan, so that the light is aimed downwards. And obviously then a rope to hang it from the ceiling. So it took me quite a few attempts to find something that was suitable for the lamp. And this is the one I came up with in the end, this one on the left. When it's turned upside down, stick a light inside it. I think it works. It was the only pot I could find that was the right size and shape when it was turned upside down. So yeah, I was quite happy with it in the end. You have to do what you can in this game. If you can't find an item, you have to try and build it. It's sort of half of the fun of the game, really. I think in the end, it works out okay. And again, some of the lights, not brilliant. This particular, I was very lucky that the light and the vase actually fitted together size-wise. And then obviously you can just change the color of the light so that it looks like a heat lamp instead of just a bulb. And also I did just adjust them so that they were on during the day as well, because tortoises would want a heat lamp whether it's day or night. Obviously it's the temperature that matters, not the amount of light. So yeah, I think that came out quite nicely, really. And then obviously I just put the bedding underneath the heat lamps, because that's where they would want to settle down for the night. So yeah, I think that, yeah, I was happy with that, very happy with that. And again, just decorating a tortoise enclosure. They're very big. They don't need lots of space because they're not particularly active, but you also don't want to block their habitat with too much rubbish. So just some simple beams here, just supporting the roof, obviously. You know, bare necessities and all that. And then some foliage on the outside of the enclosure. Again, sort of continuing the theme of the picnic area. You'll see in a minute. Oh yes, I forgot. I wanted some support beams on this building. Again, just a little detail. It didn't work particularly well because I couldn't put them in all the places that I wanted to because of again, the size of the beams. They were just too long, and I could have done with them being half the length, because as I started putting them in other areas, they end up just poking through the inside of the building, like this one here. So I just gave up on that idea in the end. I put a few on where I could, but you know, some of them were just not possible. But they were fine. I managed to get enough on that it looked realistic. You know, just some basic support. I did a lot of detailing in this off screen, which I will show you in a real-time bit. I did just put a door on there, and then I wanted to get a bit of foliage on the outside. And the tortoises do like sand in their enclosure, so I thought I might as well stick some desert plants in. So I sort of blended the two types of foliage together. So I continued some of the ferns over there from the picnic area. But then I also wanted a few cacti in there as well. They look good, obviously, because they're desert plants, and I put sand down, so you know, it makes sense. Again, it's not that clever, really. You just got to put down appropriate foliage for the animals, but also appropriate for what the ground looks like or what rocks you're using. It really isn't rocket science. Again, whether these things would be real or not in the zoo, probably not, because they're outside. They would probably be maybe fake cacti. You can make your own mind up about that. I wanted to just decorate the water here. This would be, because obviously if that was sand, it wouldn't be a natural water hole. It would be fake, and so that if it was a sort of a concrete base, they would cover it up with rocks and things just to decorate it and make it look a bit more natural. My usual fallen log, again, I just love the look of bits like that. It's just a little detail that really adds quite a lot, I think, and some more underwater foliage. And I will see you again in a minute in the real time, where I'll show you the other detailing that I've done. So yeah, see you in a moment. And here we are, back with our wonderful Galapagos tortoises. As you can see, they're all roaming around and having fun. I absolutely love these things. Look at them. Look at that. Wouldn't you just love to have that walking around your garden? What a magnificent creature. I love them. Anyway, let's talk about what I've done. Right, just changed I wanted to get the education boards here, so I made a couple of these non-glass and put the boards on and added a few lights around here, which I will show you in a moment. Obviously more flowers. I love to do this just along the edges. I think it just completes it. Sometimes I put these edges in, these little sort of stone edges, but sometimes I like to dot some flowers along as well. Just, you know, keeps the place looking pretty, which is what this zoo is all about. Coming around here again, just a few flowers along the front. I was really happy actually. This turned out a lot better than I thought it might, I'll be honest. Actually, let's go to nighttime now, because I think this looks lovely at nighttime. It really looks like I intended, with the really looks like heat lamps hanging down. And the tortoises do come over, as you can see this one in here is slowly doing. They do come over and actually sleep underneath the heat lights. Yeah, I think I'm very happy with that actually. Surprisingly, because sometimes in this game, when you turn, you know, you have an idea and you start building, and sometimes things just don't turn out how you hope, and sometimes they do. And this time I was pleasantly surprised. Coming around here again, just a fake door here, and some basic rock work, continuing the theme with the palms and the ferns. This is another lovely palm tree here, this ponytail palm, and again I've discovered that I prefer it more if I sink it into the ground. As good as the stems are, I think as a low down plant I think it works just as well. So I've done that quite a lot along here. I've added in this area here, I wasn't too sure what to do with this area between the picnic area and the path, so I just thought let's just extend the rock work, get some larger boulders in here as well, and this lovely arch, and then again continue the foliage. These ponytail palms here, you can see again, just sunk them down in the ground. I think they work really nicely on these rocks. It really looks like they're clinging to the rocks, and really sort of growing out of them. So yeah, really happy with my use of those. And I've put a staff room in the back here. Again, a pretty basic building, which is all it would be in real life. It would just be a simple brick building, simple roof, a few windows, but it would be well decorated, again, because obviously you can see it from public areas. So it would be looked after and maintained, but it certainly wouldn't be highly decorated. But just lots of ferns, bracken, tree ferns around here, some palms. Again, the gravel path, I'm going to continue using that, I think, wherever I want my staff to walk and not the public. And this archway I think works very nicely, because it just gives you that little glimpse from one area to the other. So if you'd already come in the zoo and you'd gone to the picnic area and you're in here, you'd be able to see through. Obviously I don't know what I'm going to build over here yet, but you'd just get a nice little glimpse through. And I wanted it to stand out from right back over here at the entrance as well, so you can see here, look across the pond, and I purposely positioned it in such a way that you could see it, avoiding the fountain there, straight up through the middle. And then when you turn to night time, I just put a red light underneath it, just to give it that faint red glow there, just to make it stand out a little bit. Yeah, very happy with that. And going back to what I said before about the building, you can see here, this is the view from the entrance path. I didn't want that building to be any higher than that. I mean, I wasn't even sure if I wanted this palm in the middle here, but I think the palm works okay to split up the flat roof of the building. But the building itself, I wanted it no taller than that, because I didn't want to ruin this lovely view that you've got in the background. And obviously I don't know what else I'm going to build back there, but I want to be able to see it from all the way over here, because as you walk through you'd see buildings and it'd get you excited, wouldn't it? You'd look and you go, oh, I wonder what that is, I wonder what that arch is, I wonder what that building is, it must be an animal over there, quickly let's run, let's go have a look. And that's what zoos do all the time. It's, you know, it's temptation. You see one enclosure from another enclosure, and what do you want to do? You want to go and have a look at it and see what animals are over there. So yeah, that's our Galapagos tortoises. They're very happy in here. Hopefully soon they will start having some babies, and we'll have some little ones walking around as well. But yeah, I was very happy with how this resulted. Look, here's one having a little snooze under the heat lamp. That's what we like to see. Happy tortoise. Look at that old guy or girl. What is it? It's a gal. My mistake. I apologise. Sorry, Fran. Well, she's going to go for a little wander outside, and I am going to leave it there. So again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you very much. Bye for now.